Forex trading. Now, we've all heard what it is, but is it true what we see on social media? The Lamborghinis, the nice houses, the big holidays. Is this an accurate representation of what trading Forex is like? Now, there's no secret that you can make some money in the Forex markets, but the truth is that is not the day-to-day life of a real Forex trader. And that is what this series is here to do. You're looking now at the day in the life series here on the Blue Effects YouTube channel, and I'm here to show you what it's like to be a trader day to day, straight up, honest and transparent, profits, losses, and everything in between. So without further ado, we're going to jump on the charts and start chopping things up for the day. All right, so it's just gone 10 o'clock. I'm bringing you over to the charts, sort of discuss the position I've taken today, why I've taken it, and what I'm expecting it to do in the future. We're currently about $50 in profit. I've taken two short positions on the New Zealand dollar to the Japanese yen. We're currently looking at the hourly chart. Now, first things first, I've taken a short on this pair because I got a signal to do that by my system. I've got two confirmation and trend indicators on my charts at the moment. And you can see that I've got this sell signal here and another sell signal here. I'm not going to break down the nuances of those indicators today because it will take far too long. And I'll go off on one about indicators for far too long. But understand that I've got a signal to go short by my system. Now, I've also consulted the market sentiment indicator I've got on down here. Now, most traders will think and like to think that they want to be in the majority of traders. They're going to be trading with the market. If most people are long, they want to be long as well. Well, unfortunately, that is not the case because things like bank manipulation can completely ruin your trade if you're on the popular side. And you never ever want to put yourself in a position where you're exposing yourself to being on a very popular side of the market. At the moment, I can just about read it because I think on this big screen, it kind of scales it down quite a lot. It's 58% buy to 41% sell. Doesn't quite make sense, but you can sort of see sort of the percentages we're working with. And that sort of percentage is fine. I'm happy to be in a sell position. But let's say it was 70-30. That is a very, very dangerous position to be in. If you want more confirmation about this sort of thing and how banks manipulate the markets, there's been various news articles and scandals that come up before. They're given a fine, like a parking ticket for them, and they just move on, where banks will collude between each other to fix the prices in the Forex markets. Being a retail trader means you are something like 10% of the market volume overall. You have to understand that all retail traders only make up about 10% of market volume. So you really have to understand how the big players play this game. Now, going back to the chart in general, you can see here, even at this small snapshot of the chart, you can see that we're posting these lower lows and lower highs, which is typical of a downtrend. Zooming out, we can see that we've followed this sort of downward trajectory for a little while now, ranging back to about the 7th of June. And you can see again, drop down lower. We've had a bit of a retest up here, and again, hoping to take this down to my first target of this green line here. That is where I'll be taking off one of my positions and scaling out of the trade and locking in some of that profit. And above here, I've got my stop at 1.5 times the ATR. At the time I took the trade, it was still 16 pips. So whatever that is in the maths, I can't quite work it out. But trust me, I knew it at the time, and that stop is in place. So stop's in place. I'm looking to scale out one of the positions when it hits this green marker. And I'll also be taking that second position to break even. Now, the second position I have open, I will keep open for as long as my indicators tell me to. Now, at the point that either one of these indicators flips back to long, let's say this red line will cross over the blue, or this line here will paint blue, that is my signal to exit. So to break this down for you very quickly, when price hits this green line, I'm taking off the first half of my trade, locking in that profit, so we're not giving those profits back to the markets. Capital to conservation is key, and then I'll be taking that second position to break even, and I'll be letting that run till my system tells me to get out. So that is some very quick fire analysis, keeping it short and sweet for you today. I've got a very exciting day lined up today. I'm actually going to head into the city, and I'm working my way all the way down to the south of England today, where my family's from. We're going to go down there today together. I'm going to take you all the way with me. I'm going to check in with you about lunchtime. It's just gone 10 o'clock now, and we'll see how this trade's getting on. Currently cruising at about $72 of profit. All right, so time now is about 20 past 12 in the afternoon. It's been about 2 hours or so since I last checked in with you, and a lot has happened since then. So if you remember earlier on, I took a short on the New Zealand dollar to the Japanese yen.
The trade is doing really, really well, and it was a great entry early on this morning. And the first half of the trade hit my first target and secured this amount of profit right here. Now, I can't quite remember how much profit it was. I think it was around $60, $70. But again, it's up on screen right now. You can see how much that first half of the trade is made. Now, taking that image away, and I'm going to put up on screen the rest of that trade, the other half of the trade, and what level of profit it's in. It should be about $200 of profit. So we've got 200 open profit, 70 secured profit. And I know a lot of you are thinking, if you've made $200 in that second half, you could have made $400 if you kept the whole of the trade open. Now, hindsight is a beautiful thing. I can say this now that the trade obviously continued to sell off, and we've seen some further moves to the downside, but I didn't know that at the time. And scaling out and protecting the gains in your account is super, super important for long-term profitability. What is the worst feeling in the world is having a trade move convincingly in your favor, and then one big green candle, one big red candle, completely destroying any profit left on the trade. So I've scaled out that position partially and allowing the rest of that trade to run. Now, as for the rest of the day, as you know already, me and you, we're going to come together down to the south of England. We're going to travel down through London later on, down the train all the way, and I'm going to bring you guys with me with the camera. I should be trading along the way and just monitoring my trades and getting some work done. I've been cracking on with some back testing this morning, which is something I want to touch on maybe a bit later on in the vlog, about back testing and how it can improve your overall trading and build the right psychology and confidence in your system. But as for right now, it's just about lunchtime. I'm about to do some cycling and get on my bike, so I will join you in 1 second and I'll catch up with you just then.
Guys, who is doing it like me, guys? I'm out here in the forest doing my vlog for you. Everything is for the vlog right now. Pretty spooky, guys. Trade update time. So, if you can't tell already, I'm out here in the forest once again. I must like this place a lot because I spend a lot of time here. But I'm on the way down to the train station now to start my journey for the day. I'm doing a bit of traveling. It's kind of like a travel style vlog. I'm obviously going to work in the trading where I can. It's been a busy day so far. I'm cracking on with stuff this morning because I knew that, you know, as much as I can work on the train, stuff like that, it's not always the best environment for getting work done. Packing my bag in a bit of a rush. But I thought I'd just stop for 5 minutes. I've got a bit of time to sort of update you guys on how that trade is getting on. Now, I'm glad I mentioned it because that second half, the New Zealand Japanese yen trade, the short I took, was absolutely textbook. And I'm really, really happy with that trade this morning. The entry was textbook and it sold off very convincingly. And there was only a very brief period where I was in drawdown. Now, we spoke last time. I secured in the first half of the trade. I was letting the other half run. And I'm glad to say that since we last spoke, I moved my stop in to a trailing stop. So every hourly candle, I'd move it to be 1.5 times the ATR away from where it is right now. And it did just pin me out, take me out. But that is not a problem at all because it, from my eyes, from a price action point of view, it kind of was weakening out that downwards trend. And I was really, really happy with the profit we made on it. So up on screen, I want to about the way right here is my profit so far for the day. Now, as for further trade entries, I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing today. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on the charts the best I can. With the traveling and stuff, I'm not sure. But what is for certain, what I am sure of, is when I get home, when I get back to where I'm going today, I'll set up the camera, I'll chop up my trades for the day. I'm also going to go through a bit of back testing theory with you. I've got some really good nuggets of information for later on. In the meantime, I'm going to put together like a travel style montage for you, which you're going to enjoy now. But guys, who is doing it like me? Out here in the forest making a fool of myself, reporting on trade updates. I don't know, guys. I hope you enjoy it as much as I can. But I will catch you later on.
All right, so if you couldn't tell already, time now is 10 p.m. in the evening. We're at the bottom of the garden just doing some filming. I've just arrived about half an hour ago, and I promised you guys I would catch up with you at the end of the day, wrap up my trading for the day. And when I promise something, it means I'm going to do it. So, bringing you over to the charts, let's take a look at this New Zealand dollar Japanese yen short I took earlier today. Now, unfortunately, I can't zoom any more than I have already. But you can see here on this candle was my entry. I took those two positions. The first one was exited at this green level where I took my first level of profit, locking in that profit. And the Japanese yen has been strengthening super, super hard today across all pairs. And you've seen a massive sell-off in this currency pair. And my second pair was pinned out on this wick here, unfortunately. And there was a bit of a continued sell-off. Now, you can sort of see now the volume has kind of dried up for the evening. Obviously, we're moving out of the New York session now. It's moving into the Asian session. But yeah, over $300 in profit for the day. We've got $236 on the second trade and $87 on the first trade. Now, as I said earlier on, you can say in hindsight that should have kept these trades open, but obviously we can always say that. We're not trying to pick tops and bottoms. I think that is a mug's game, if you want my honest opinion. I'm just happy to have made a decent amount of profit today and enjoyed this move to the downside. So a good day of trading so far. I'm going to bring up on the screen just so you can see a bit better my overall performance for the day in case you missed it earlier on. I didn't end up taking any more trade entries. I was doing a little bit of work coming down here on the train. It's not always the best conditions to work in, but of course you do what you can. Now, another pair that I was looking at today was gold. And gold has been getting absolutely hammered in the past couple of days. I've sort of been looking at gold for a long time, and I was someone who was getting involved quite heavily from an investments point of view and also from a trading point of view in this sort of bullish move here, sort of buying in positions and buying in on the lower time frames and respecting this overall daily uptrend. You can see here I marked up this price level here, and you can see how it's just respected it as far as my indicator goes, and it has really just fallen through the floor, and that's on the back of some fundamental themes coming out of the States with the FOMC and Jerome Powell, and having quite a hawkish commentary on interest rate hikes, and they might come a bit sooner than expected. So gold is something I'm looking at for the long term. I think if there's an opportunity to get long at a price like this and I get a signal to go long, I'll be very interested, as long as it doesn't break this double bottom down here. For me, if it breaks the double bottom, I don't think I'll be going near it for a little while yet. I feel like if it stays in this range here, I might be interested in getting long if I'm given a signal to do so. In the long term, in 5 to 10 years, I'm sure gold will be higher, but obviously we want to get in at the best price possible, within reason, of course. But right now, looking at those candlesticks, painting big red candles that are closing very close to their range. There's not much of a wick on them. So it does make you think, Now I'm just going to jump over to my backtesting spreadsheet. I promised you guys I'd show you. I'm going to bring it up right now for you. All right, guys, so just change things around on my screens. We've now got the backtesting up on the screen. I want to show you what I was doing this morning and sort of show you what I mean when I say backtesting. Now, I'm going to have to blur out quite a lot here because there's a lot of sort of confidential stuff that I've worked really hard to put together. If you guys are interested in seeing more backtesting, if you want to get a template like this, I'm happy to release it to you guys if there's an interest for it. So drop a comment down below and show us some love in that way. And I'll be happy to share the spreadsheet with you. But earlier on today, I was going through some of my indicators and testing them out to see which perform the best. Now, the indicators that I have on my chart are a combination of indicators that perform well together. Unfortunately, I had to blur out quite a lot of stuff here, just to not give too much away. But you can see here, I've got an indicator called the Arena Up and Down. I'm testing it over different currency pairs and different settings of the indicator. And you can see that I'm testing it to 100 trades each time. And obviously, over this data, will give you an overall win rate for that currency pair. Now, backtesting is something that I think is so important. It's not always the most fun thing to do, I will say. But I think it's super, super valuable in terms of building a system overall, and something that will definitely pay dividends if you put that time in. Now, for me, backtesting has been my life for a couple of years now, trying to find indicators that work nicely together. And obviously, I'm on that journey as well as the rest of you guys. So if you're interested in seeing more backtesting stuff, to go into a bit more detail about it and exactly the way I do it, because I've kind of got this spreadsheet that's very, very streamlined, it's saving the most amount of time. I will happily go into more detail if there's an interest in a future video. So as I say, just drop a comment down below if you want to see more backtesting stuff. That being said, I'm going to sign out here. It's been a pleasure today. I'm sorry to end it in the pitch black at the bottom of the garden, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I promise you guys I'll wrap things up with you tonight, so that's exactly what I've done. Guys, if you want to get a funding solution of 50,000 US dollars and you need money to trade with, BlueFX is the place to go. I can promise you that it has changed my trading, and it's changed so many different traders' careers for the better, and able to trade more like a professional. It's a fantastic solution to accessing higher capital and reaching your fullest trading potential. So that is a link in the description. That's all the details you're going to need to know about BlueFX. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, show us some love, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.